All right. It feels like we should be saying the grace and praying and going home, doesn't it? But not yet. Because one of the most amazing lessons that we have to learn is found in chapter 3 and verses 1 to 9 that Dad read for us earlier. And it says, "For everything there is a season, and there is a time for every matter under heaven." And then he goes on, he talks about all of those things, and all that we learn from that is that life changes. Things come in, they stay for a while, and then they go out. And then something new comes in, and it stays for a while, and it goes out. And what we learn is that through all of those things, he's already made it clear, God does not change. He's the change at the begin. He's the same at the beginning of the season. He's the same throughout the season, and he's the same at the end of the season and into the next one. Life changes, and it changes often. But those changes, when they are in God's hands, are good, even when they're hard. We'd much rather heal than kill. But there's a time when killing comes from God's hand. We'd much rather build up than tear down. But there's a time when tearing down makes room for the building up. We'd much rather laugh than weep. Most of us would anyway. But weeping is an important part of dealing with change. We'd much rather dance than mourn. But mourning is when life's biggest questions are asked. We'd rather keep than cast away. But casting away allows us to prioritize life and people and stuff. Keeping silent and speaking are both necessary if we're going to have a conversation. And while hating is never desirable, it is sometimes necessary in order to keep evil away. And what is there to gain from the work? From enjoying the work that God gives. Eating and enjoying the life that God has given us. There is the peace in something that never changes. God himself. There is the knowledge that while everything around us is changing, God never will. There is a job to do for each of us as we do our best to follow him wherever he leads.